Hi, this is Tom from tdjacobs.com, and I just hung up a handful of minutes ago from day 6 of the daily energy work every day in August. This is a really exciting thing to be doing. I didn't expect that it would be as cool as it is. For my own process, I like to talk about that on the videos a little bit. Sitting down to really focus on Metatron's energy every day, and he's more present in the calls than Jehuti. Jehuti's kind of talking, but Metatron is really doing the lion's share of the work behind the scenes and the energy work. And working with Metatron every day, being such an intense figure, I wasn't sure how it was going to happen or if it would be enjoyable, frankly, because when I encounter him, he provides this unwavering, benchmark. Basically, you can't get away with any garbage when you talk to Metatron. And all of us have little thought patterns and maybe behaviors we judge, or things that are negative. He's very big on replacing negatives with positives. Did I say that right? Yes. Sorry. And he's very big on focusing on what's really important, and essentially through conscious awareness and intention, burning off what is excessive or what doesn't work, what isn't helpful and isn't useful. So that's what people are going to encounter when they meet up with him 20 minutes every day, but it's what I experience for the half an hour before the call, plus the 20 minutes of the call, plus the rest of the day. So essentially, what I say, what I do with my energy, the choices I make regarding food and movement/exercise, and the timing of things, like when to do something, when not to do something, all of that right now is being, so to speak, held up against this benchmark, this unwavering, unyielding, competent benchmark of Metatron's. Is this helpful? Is this useful? Is this positive? So if I have a thought pattern that reflects some kind of frustration about something, just Metatron's always constantly holding this space of look at it, be okay with it, and see how you can let something go in order to let that melt away. And it sounds great, right? As I'm talking about it, it sounds wonderful, and it is, but to train your human personality to that frequency is quite a thing. It's quite a trip. And that's the experience I've been having for the last 6 days. As I talked about in earlier videos, I think on the very first video after day 1, my prep really began, my prep regarding energy, sexual energy, food, digestion, choices, seeing negative versus positive, catching myself, generating some negativity now and then. All of that began fully a week before the first night and the first call on August 1st. And so the last week in July, my life was all kind of revolving around noticing what was negative, noticing what thing in 3D reality was a manifestation of something negative in my own thought patterns. And so that was it was kind of a tumultuous week in one way. In another way, because I was able to see very clearly, does this food serve me? And making transitions and changes there, and finding out that things I've been eating for a while don't, and other things feel great when I eat them. So that whole process, my energy field did kind of level out, and I felt really stable and solid for that week. But in another way, because I wasn't able to do certain habitual things, or things I'm comfortable, or things I seem to think I prefer doing, it was kind of tumultuous, like not breaking habits, but just suddenly cold turkey having this insertion of Metatron's intense gaze. Is that useful? Does that help you? And he doesn't do it to be pressuring or mean. The way I say it is kind of with this kind of, the furrowed brow thing. It's not supposed to be mean. It's not supposed to be, but it's supposed to help us see that we have the strength already within us to end patterns that don't work and to step into things that do work. But again, the linear logical mind has preferences. We get into habit patterns. We think we like certain things. Our mouths like to eat certain things that our bodies don't in fact like. So that's been continuing now for almost a week. So now it's almost 2 weeks. since I started this, since I started the prep for these calls. It's just really fascinating. I have received some notes and had some conversations with people who've done the calls. One person said that she had participated in 2 of them, and they were just drastically different. And she was wondering about that because in her coaching sessions, when both the beings come through, it's pretty stable, it's pretty consistent for what it is from time to time. But on these calls, each one is aimed at something different. And I'm assuming that it's about who's calling in that day and what's going on in their lives. And after yesterday's call, the 5th one, I was aware of one person who I knew was going to call and having a certain issue. And then when I was watching Metatron and Jehudi talk about a particular issue, I was like, oh, well, that must have been for her, because that's something that's maybe coming up for her. But then 2 other people after the call I spoke to, one for a tutoring session and somebody else in a different context, and each of them had that particular issue. So basically 3 out of like 15 people had that going on that day. So it's some kind of synchronous thing where they're reading fields to see what's useful. So some days it may be very particular work on particular chakras, and that's what it has been each of the first 5 days, more or less, except I think the 5th day was kind of a focus on not a particular chakra, but kind of just getting rid of things and calling things back. But today it was very focused on calling things back that belong to you, which is very, very important. So that's something that's... Anyway, it's just kind of a cornucopia or a smorgasbord of things that are possible when we do this energy work. Other days, maybe they won't mention a chakra at all. Maybe they'll just do a particular meditative process with you. So you can call in. There's no RSVP. There's no minimum commitment. Every day this month, and it's on a sliding scale. And even the upper end of the sliding scale is extremely reasonable for 20 minutes of intense energy work that if you do more than a couple calls, like, you will notice an effect in your life. And that brings me to the other thing, where one other person who had done 4 nights in a row on these calls was feeling great until last night after the call, feeling a bit overwhelmed with stuff coming up, and had a bunch of really stressed dreams in which she was angry and things were going on. And so she told me that I'll be on the call tonight, but maybe not for the next few nights. And I responded to her, it's okay to, when they ask permission to come into your space to do energy work, it's okay for a few days to say no, thank you. But just, if you want to be on the call, you can, to receive the vibration, because hearing the teaching that comes through and being exposed to the vibration can help your field settle and organize itself and help things leave. But if you say, when they say, please give us permission if you want energy work, if you say no, thank you, it won't happen. So that's going on too. So if you're calling into these calls and you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, understand, like, be in touch with me and ask a question, just like that particular person did. I'm happy to help out. I'm happy to answer things. And again, there's a 34-minute MP3 that's free, posted through Facebook and Twitter, and also in my blog. I did a blog post today, August 6th, about that. And you can listen to that and get an overview of the link between energy and emotion and the physical body, how the physical body manifests and reflects what's going on in the energy field and your emotions, and how when you change energy pathways, or you shed emotions that don't work, or you activate something that needs healing or releasing, or kind of altering your relationship with past pain or something like that, energy in your body will move. That may manifest as physical symptoms of something. I don't want you to freak out. It's almost always temporary. I mean, it's temporary. It's just, whether it's a day or 2 days or something like that. And so the MP3 helps with an overview of that stuff, as well as some ideas for each of the 7 chakras of things that may occur. So thanks for your time and energy, and look forward to doing this every day with you for the rest of the month. And all the info is linked in a PDF in the notes section of this video. Thanks again. Looking forward to working with you. Bye-bye.